So let's have a conversation about the things that are affecting us. So this generally comes from things like self-doubt, things like your perception of what's currently going on in your life. And I believe that the wrong perspective can make you scared of the things that are actually good for you. That means like we look at change as something negative sometimes because we're scared of what's to come, we're scared of the potential outcome, or we're scared of what's going to be taken from us for us to really grow into this next phase of life. So sometimes I personally tell myself that you have to let this happen, because if you don't let this happen, you're going to feel just as stuck for even longer. You're going to prolong your own growth by avoiding those conversations that you don't want to have. You're going to prolong your growth by not taking those necessary steps or doing the things that you're scared of doing. Especially when I feel like we all have this thing where we constantly tell ourselves we're going to start doing this, we're going to start doing that, and then we find ourselves doing none of the above. And when you take notice in the things that you're doing, really sit there and think about it. Like, don't just constantly keep telling yourself I'm gonna do this and that, and then when you realize, hey, I haven't done this, you just end up feeling bad about yourself. One thing that I've learned is don't feel bad about yourself. Stop making yourself feel guilty for things you don't really have to feel guilty about. There's nothing wrong with not doing something or taking long to get started. It's like the gym, for example. Some people get into the gym right away. Some people take a good 6 months before they can find themselves being consistent. Right? It's like that BoJack quote. It gets easier every day, but you have to do it every day. That's the hard part. Right? But it does get easier. That quote shows us everything. Consistency is difficult, and life itself is difficult, and that's such a hard concept to grasp, because we sometimes just want things to be the way that we wish for them to be. We want that relationship to go the way we want it to. We want this job opportunity to go the way we want it to. We want this business to go the way we want it to. But if those things always just automatically clicked, how would we know what to appreciate? Right? And that's why gratitude is the beginning of everything, right? So in order for you to accept this new change that's coming into your life, you have to be grateful for what you currently have, right? And you have to tell yourself that whatever is coming, I'm gonna handle it, right? And accepting change is probably the most difficult part of life that nobody tells you about, because at some point you're gonna be there and you're gonna be sick to your stomach. That's something we can't avoid. Or we're gonna sit there shitting ourselves because we don't know what's coming. Or we're gonna be doing nothing and sick of ourselves for doing nothing. So I guess the overall lesson or the overall conclusion is, don't make yourself sick of yourself, Sometimes when things aren't going your way, it's because you have to learn yourself a little bit better. What does that mean? That means to take the steps that you need towards whatever it is that's been sitting in your head. Why? Because you don't know who you are when you're pursuing that thing. You don't know who you are when you're really trying your best, right? You don't know who you are when you do nothing for the people that are overworking. The people that are overworking, you have to take time to breathe. You have to take time to be yourself. You have to take time to you're doing great because you're creating the change. So if you don't, if you've been doubting yourself or thinking you're not doing great, that's far from the truth. If you're one of those people that are taking initiative, that are working a lot, that are doing this and that, and doing the things that you really want to do, right? Sometimes you have to take a step back and readjust to stop yourself from feeling that drain that, drags you down and almost makes you feel lifeless. Don't take the life out of yourself. And that's kind of like why I'm making this, right? Because I fell for that cycle and took the life out of myself. And in reconnecting with myself, I realized that I have to let this change happen. It feels like my life's currently in a transitional stage where something is coming or some things are changing, and they're visibly changing too. But I'm kind of like avoiding that change because it's unknown. And beyond it being unknown, it's like I kind of like the way things are right now, even though there's so many imperfections and so many things I wish that were a little better. But I'm kind of scared of those things that I want to be a little better, just kind of like not being there or not working in a way, in a sense. And I guess that fear is kind of like what's holding me back for a while. But the more I think about it, if I don't let this change, happen, then I'll just be at the same spot for even longer. And I think that scares me more. While change can be scary, I think staying the exact same is even more terrifying. Because some people have this lack of realization, unfortunately, where they find themselves in these cycles for 5 to even 10 years. And they don't realize that they're actually making themselves miserable. That's why I think realization and that awareness is a blessing. Being aware that you're not where you want to be, so you push yourself to be better, or you set other goals that can, make you less miserable. That awareness is a huge blessing that we overlook a lot. And that, honestly, I feel like that just brings you back to gratitude. Like, personally, I'm grateful for where I'm at. Even as it continues to feel more and more like a transitional period, I'm grateful for this transitional period because I am becoming something else, or I am, creating something else, if you want to say it that way. So I want you to take in that transitional period just as I am, and accept that we are becoming. That's exactly what we are. We are becoming whatever. If in your case you're in school and let's say you're becoming this, business exec, right? You are in the process of becoming, and that's why sometimes you doubt yourself or sometimes you get scared. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing or the way you're feeling. It's completely normal, right? It's just that awareness is kind of like weighing you down, but you don't realize that's a blessing, right? Because you're aware of where you stand. Some people, like I just said, don't have that, and they fall to these long cycles of misery. So, accept the change, or accept where you currently stand in this game. You're halfway through the board and you're finding your way towards the finale, right? So be grateful for that. And I know that whatever change is currently happening in your life will be for the better.